Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of GNN. Today is May 9th, 2024, and we have another banner night on our hands here. But before we get into the details of our brand new mobile suit, let's go over some news. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the Roswell Jegan, our 2-star suit for tonight. Now, on top of that, we do have a boosted supply drop for this suit as well. Now, what that means for the uninitiated, we do have a half off pull for this, and then subsequent steps for this, which, ironically enough, the 2-star shenanigans have gotten to full effect because now they've added a step 5 for this, or rather a step 4 for a higher chance, and then a guaranteed step 5 for this 2-star suit. This is pretty crazy. We'll get into the details of this suit shortly, but I know this is from UC Engage. So if you've been wanting to get something pretty unique on the Federation side, well, it looks pretty cool so far. On top of that, we do have a limited supply drop notice for the Phoenix and the B-Packs level 1, level 2, which is 650, 700, and its respective weapons. So if you haven't had a chance to get that, this is your potential chance to get that. I know that sounds kind of weird, right? Well, if you really want to get it, because you also get a 50-pack modification kit alongside that as well. Recycle ticket changes are as follows. The Despada 550 is now in the recycle ticket counter. So if you're a fan of those mono-eye Gundams, well, you can add this one to your collection. Reminds me too much of SRW, but you know, I guess to each their own. Everybody has a taste for this. They like it. So no DP exchange stuff has changed. This week's fight is in Jaburo for situation battle. Kind of give you an idea. I believe this is a 1-year war. So we're back to the 1-year war rotation with the White Base and Mad Angler Squadron teams here. So Char Zagok and the various Xeon suits and the White Base and Amuro's stuff here. Alright folks, here we are with our main event. This is a 550 suit, 2-star general, usable on ground and space. It is a Jegan Type A variant that was developed for the purpose of collecting data on the fin funnels and would eventually lead into our venerable new Gundam in Char's counterattack. This features impressive versatility and plenty of past combat data. Part of the cockpit block has been modified to accept the Psychomu frame. It also succeeded in deploying the I-field barrier, which was thought to have generated accidentally during Char's rebellion, and this data resulted in a major advance in Anaheim Electronics' later research. It's a pretty cool suit so far. We'll get into the details, but if you are doing the 10 pulls for this, this does give you a chance to get Kyra Sue's normal suit from Char's counterattack. So both her main normal suit and helmet respectively. It's really cool. If you need that to your collection, it's really neat. Anyways, on to the nitty gritty. Alright folks, here we are with our brand new 550 suit. Mine has been modified, so we'll get into it straight away because we have 19k as far as its health pool goes. About roughly 20s on ballistic, 21 to be exact, 26 for beam, and a low melee resistance. This is going to be somewhat of a midliner perhaps, because it has a majority of offensive power leaning into range power with a little bit of melee strength. Looking at its movement, we have what is pretty much typically standard for most, I want to say, post-Grips War type suits, and leading into CCA. We're looking at 130 walking, 210 boosting, a decent thruster gauge of 65, and average turning speed of 66. Now, it does utilize the standard Jegan beam rifle. It's not able to use any other weapons as its primary, so we have probably mentioned this before with the Jegan, so pretty standard fare. Nothing has changed. Going into its primary melee, it does boast a unique beam saber coming in at a whopping 2k base power with a 2.5 second cooldown time. Going into the sub-weapon category, we have the Vulcan pod system for the Jegan. This one's pretty standard, 90 base power, 60 rounds in the mag, and 180 meters effective range with a 10-second reload time. Rate of fire is fairly fast, so I definitely see this as sort of a follow-up or pursue option. You guys know, doesn't need any explanation. Going into the grenades here, this is tossed out just like the A-type Jegan. This is not shot out like the Jetta or the D-type. It does have a whopping 1900 base power and 3 throws. I keep on wanting to say 3 shots, but 3 throws, and an effective range of 150 meters with an 8-second reload time and 1 second cooldown time between throws. This thing's gonna be chonking. Now, of course, everybody's party favor, what do you want to call this? The fin funnels. This is a pincer attack. Base power of 375, heat rate of 50%, and an effective range of 250 meters, 2 seconds between salvos, I should say. I almost want to say bursts, but salvos rather, and a 22-second overheat time. I can vouch for this being quite nasty in a sense that if you've ever had to manage heat on any beam weaponry based support, this definitely feels that way when utilizing these funnels. It's amazing how fast these are able to cool off when you let them go. I can see this being quite the pain in the ass. But last but not least, we do have a defensive fin funnel option. It doesn't automatically overheat, but it does go down over time in a sense. It has limited time actually. I know I kind of contradicted myself, but I almost want to say this is more along the lines of vanilla new rather than say the HWS or some of the other suits that are out there, part of that lineup. So limited hits, it's nice in a pinch, but it's a little, I don't know, feels a little weak, but then again, can't really compare it to new. Anyways, it does have a 15-second overheat time, so this is probably great to help cover you from cover to cover. At the same time, I do feel like because of the profile that it brings, and this isn't 700, I think it just brings attention to itself. But we'll see in the days coming to see how really effective this is. Going into the shopping list of skills, we have some fan favorites already, pretty standard stuff for a general. It has a roll, it has level 2 flight control, so this is going to be meant to be one of those suits that just because it's a midliner doesn't mean it can't use its melee either, because it also has a melee combo controller. It has reach. Rather, the downswing is a thrust, so this is going to be a little harder to get used to if you're used to, say, the standard Jegan swings, the standard Federation swings, or some of the other suits that have a mixed up unique variation. Gonna be interesting. Ambach level 2, so this is built specifically for space, so kind of interested to see how people do with this, honestly. Force Injector 2. High Performance Radar 2. It also has Personnel Radar, so this is great for kind of defending and defeating those pesky pilots that try to capture your capture points. Pretty good. Now, the icing on the cake for this suit is this is one of the lower cost suits that actually have a Psychomu weapon buffer for its back. Still no leg buffers because this is a Jegan, so can't expect that to happen, but the fact that it has Psycho Frame Resonance at 30% at level 1, man, this thing's gonna be pretty crazy. So in the sense that your bread and butter is basically the funnels right there. But yes, 30% at HP activates, boosting mobility, and shortens the Psychomu lock times by 50%. So yeah, this is gonna be one of those midline suits that you just don't want to get hit by. And then you have, I think, what is it? I want to say this is ×4, so 3, 6, 9, 12. So firing at a time, you're doing about maybe base power of what? Quick math. Maybe a little over 2400 if all beams hit. So this is pretty crazy. At least damage-wise, for a 2-star anyways. Alright folks, with that said, that concludes today's edition on the new Roswell Jegan. This is an NT unit testing out some really cool new type stuff that would eventually become into the new Gundam, but I want to know what you guys' thoughts on this 2-star general. You think it's going to be any good? Damage-wise, there is definitely always that possibility that it'll do well, but considering that most of the suits at its cost do have maneuver armor or some means of kind of mitigating damage, it's hard to see where this goes from here. But design-wise, it's so... I feel like it's so cool, but at the same time, it's like unique enough to kind of differentiate from the likes of your standard Jegan fare. And the fact that the funnels just add another flare of just awesome offensive, just beam barfing. But as I said, that concludes it. Anyways, unless there's anything else for me to say, that's it for now, and I will see you guys all on the next video. Take care.